let's do a little role play here.
Sure.
Let's pretend that you're the head of marketing and comms for a Fortune 500 company. Probably not a huge stretch. What role does PR play in your marketing mix, and how do you play nice in the sandbox with the rest of the team?
Excellent question. Not Fortune 500, but I'm a head of marketing.
Not yet.
I think I can step into the role. And I want to talk to the marketing ops people directly here in just a minute. But for this role play, let's talk about how PR plays the role in extending your brand footprint. And there's analytics and there's technology that goes into that. There's a whole tech stack of PR, just like there's a tech stack for lead gen and all types of digital marketing, etc. You're extending your brand footprint. That can involve press releases, owned media, social media channels, and you mentioned it earlier, Ben, earned media. To me, the magic of public relations evolves around earned media. I was thinking of this the other night. I don't know if you're a sports fan, but I'm a hockey fan, and I was watching a hockey game, and it went into overtime. And the announcer said, "Are you ready for some free hockey?" And which is like bonus hockey. And I was thinking about that this morning. That's earned media. This is like your bonus brand footprint coverage, extending your brand in unexpected ways. So the part of the marketing mix that PR plays for me is to reach those unexpected places that you can't pay for, that you can't even necessarily put into your marketing plan. But when you get them, you can go deeper and drive traction and build relationships. There's another word you mentioned earlier, relationships with the media, because that's really what PR is in the marketing mix. It's, when it boils down, it's your relationship with the media themselves. And you can't get that through the other channels. So it is a very distinct part of the marketing mix.
If you're at a big company, a Fortune 500 company, I'm assuming you have a large enough budget to do things that don't necessarily have to have direct correlation to the bottom line. And when I think of PR, I think of it as this activity that we know that marketing is an art and a science, so let's not pretend to science everything. And I feel like when you're down market, right? When you're mid market, when you're a small, medium-sized business, a solopreneur, you sit there and you think about things like PR, and you're like, yeah, I want brand and I want credibility, but I don't have tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars to go have somebody go chase around journalists and try to get me on the New York Times. So how does your answer when you're in role play change when you are not a Fortune 500 marketer, but you're down market, let's say a mid-market head of marketing?
I think it's the same answer. The opportunities for visibility might be different, but they just have to be relevant. Are they hitting the market you need to reach? Are they hitting the audience? Are you getting the right message out there? Business Wire is not a Fortune 500 company. We're not even close. But I'm talking on a podcast. We had 3 articles placed in very relevant PR media just over the past couple of months. We have some more in play right now. Some of them are very known channels, but some are somewhat unexpected and tangential to PR. And that might reach an entirely new segment that we don't reach through our paid channels. So I don't know that my answer would change that much, but it's the type of relevant media that you're reaching versus a Fortune 500 who's going to have exposure through national and international channels for an entirely different scope of audience than what Business Wire is looking to reach. We're looking for very pinpoint, relevant earned media. And that might be the difference, is basically what journalists are engaging with us versus those bigger enterprise level companies.
Now, the original question is, what role does PR play in marketing? I understand the value that it has, but PR can't be the only thing you're relying on for your marketing mix. If you're, let's go back to being a large company, Fortune 500 company here, and you're like, I know PR is important. I know it's going to help me increase my brand footprint. It's going to help me get that credibility, that trust, and humanize my marketing efforts. What else do you have to do in conjunction with PR to make all of the great benefits from that outreach and those relationships actually turn into the bottom line business results.
You surround your audience with the same narrative in different formats. When we get earned media, we build that same message and that same content into our account-based marketing, where we're reaching known accounts, known potential accounts that our sales team is targeting. So we're partnering with our sales team on those to drive revenue in through that channel. We're of course blasting it out in a series of events on social. We take that content and we plan a webinar. We update our website. We update our paid search campaigns. We update our organic targets. All of the things that trigger. So sometimes PR is triggered by other marketing, and sometimes PR is the trigger. It works both ways. So that's why it's part of the mix. It's in no way is it a standalone. It's very unique, but the same thread can be stitched through our other channels depending on where it started, or if PR is, like I said, the trigger event for those other channels.
When I think about marketing tactics like PR, like I mentioned before, marketing is an art and a science, and this leans more on the art. It's about relationships. It's about finding people that have reach and credibility to have their voice distribute your message, talk about your brand. And fundamentally, your brand is not something that you can control. It's what your prospects think about you. And if you're in a marketing company like Business Wire, in this case, it's what marketers think about you. But you need to understand that your brand, that increased reach, all of the work you're doing that you can't track, fundamentally lower your cost per acquisition. When people know and trust you, they're going to be more responsive to your ads. You're going to have better conversion rates. It'll help get everything through the funnel. And to me, for the demand gen, for everybody else that's listening to this podcast, why are you talking about PR on the MarTech podcast? This is one of those things that you need to be able to understand the purpose of it, because if you shy away and you say something like PR doesn't work, you're missing out on this huge opportunity, not just for the big brands looking to be on the New York Times, but for the up-and-comers that are also looking at places like podcasts and newsletters and other relationships. PR doesn't have to only be big. Your brand is not the only thing that you have to focus on. You have to have the relationship between your brand and demand gen to actually have a comprehensive marketing strategy.